Zaida, Tito College. All right, welcome everyone. A good Erev Shabbos. We are on the book of Leviticus, chapter 26:3, and every Friday we like to learn a little bit from my holy ancestor, the Aryeh Zaida Maralmi Prague, the holy Maharal of Prague. So, of course, the Aryeh is a commentary on Rashi. So, Rashi is, of course, the commentary on the Torah, on the whole Bible, actually. And I mean the whole Bible, the real Bible, it's the Hebrew Bible. But let's look at what it says. Leviticus 26, verse 3 says, in Bechukosai, if you walk in my statutes. So Rashi says like this, it's possible to think that when it says, if you walk in my statutes, that very simply means fulfilling the commandments, fulfilling the mitzvahs. But like we said yesterday from the Kedushas Levi, that it would be superfluous because it already says subsequently that if you keep my commandments and do them. So that's where we have the fulfillment of the commandments. So therefore, Rashi asks, what is the meaning? What do I fulfill here? What am I accomplishing by these words? If you walk in my statutes, so shitu amelim b'Torah. So the Rashi brings Sifra. That the words, if you walk in my statutes, meaning in my laws, in my commandments, it means that you should toil in the study of Torah. So Lamazain Vusuk the Heilige Zaida Meralmi Prague So Yochel Zeh. All right. So we're wondering, what does it mean? Why is this superfluous? So, and the answer that Rashi gives is that it means that we should be a Melim B'Torah, that we should study Torah diligently. So B'Torah's Kahanim, so Medrash called Torah's Kahanim, the laws of the priests, which is what Leviticus is also called in the language of our sages. So it's a midrash on the book of Leviticus. And it says, when it says that you should be diligent in studying the Torah, how do we derive that when it says you should go in my commandments, you should walk in my statutes, if you walk in my statutes? That refers to toiling in the study of Torah. It's because studying is called walking. Ki halicha yesh ba Torah lamo. Because walking, it's busy. It takes effort. It takes diligence. It's a toil. Kach tiyu amelim b'yegem. Yeah, wait. So that should be the manner in which one should be studying with amelus, that it should be toil, and it should be an effort. It shouldn't come easy. I discussed how really nowadays it's so easy to learn. But so the amelus has to come in. That you have to not only just read the words, say the words, which is a mitzvah, you fulfill a mitzvah of Talmud Torah, but there's an extra level of amelus and yigiyah, that you should toil, that you should be diligent, toiling, you should be busy. Yesh lefarish gam, but meaning you fulfill the mitzvah perhaps without the amelus, but there's almost, in a certain sense, there's a bracha that comes with the amelus. There's a blessing that comes with the toil in the Torah study. But there's another understanding of what it means in Bechukosai teilechu, that if you walk in my statutes. Because walking means a person walks from one place to another. And that is how you should be toiling in the Torah. Every time you study Torah, it's not just you say the words and you do it one time. Again, you fulfill a mitzvah doing that. And we're obligated to at least do that. But the bracha comes with the halicha. The blessing comes with the walking in the Torah. That every time every year we go through the same parsha. And every time you go deeper and deeper, deeper than it was before. You learn more and more. That's what's called walking in Torah. That's what it's teaching here, when it's written that you walk in my statutes. And then subsequently it's written, you should observe, you should keep my commandments. So of course we know, it's very well known that when we use this word chok, it's something that we don't really know the reason for, right? That's why it's called a statute. That's what it's considered to be statutory. When the reason for it is hidden and somewhat mysterious and unknown. However, even though it's unknown, it's still possible for a person to grasp a little bit of them. The thing is that these commandments come from an infinite source, from the God who is infinite. And so therefore there's an infinite quality within them. And therefore, when it comes to learning about the Chukos HaTorah, that type of study is a study that goes deeper and deeper, because there's infinitely sourced, and so therefore there's an infinite quality excuse me, to these commandments, that you can be constantly walking in them deeper and deeper into these commandments, more than it was before. You keep going and you go deeper constantly than what there was before. Or there is more effort and more energy and more toil put into the study. So that's why by specifically something that's called a chok, something that is called a statute that we don't know the reason for, so it's called walking, which means the effort that you put in to understand these chukim. Umasha amru ki mitzvos shem chukim le'nitnu tam shalahem leglois. But some people might say, no, we're not allowed to reveal the reasons for these chukim, for these statutes. In a right to leimar, Shein Adam Yodea Klal Min HaMitzvahs, that's a mistake, says the Heilige Zayda Maral Prague. It doesn't mean that a person should never have some understanding, some grasp of these mitzvahs. Ela she'ein yachol lahaven oisem legamrei. The only thing is that when they're called chukim or chukos, it means that it's impossible to understand them completely. Aval yachu lahaven ma'at mehem ma'at, but it is possible to understand them a little bit. V'zeu she'amar in Bechukosai telechu, because again they're infinite. So you never go. It's impossible to totally grasp them. So therefore, that's why it says, "If you walk in my statutes," meaning that when it comes to these statutes, to these laws that we can never fully grasp, that is the whole point. Is that you keep learning more and more about them, more and more of the reasons behind them, but you'll never come to completely grasp them, but you will understand them a little bit, and every time you learn about them, you'll understand them a little bit more. And that's what it means. Furthermore, is that if you keep the commandments, right, and you do them, etc., that you're going to go constantly deeper and deeper into what they mean, right? And that's where the bracha comes from, because it's an infinite bracha. I was remembering, the Ishbitzer says, Shivchi kamayim libeich noichech b'nei Hashem, right? In Echo, it says, pour out your heart like water before the presence of the Lord. And so it's explained, Ishbitzer explains, that the posuk means that just like the water by the ocean, the lower waters are separated from the higher waters, whatever that means, that's what the Torah says, right, in the beginning of Genesis. So you go to the beach and you see the waves. They're trying to be reunited with the higher waters, but they never make it. But they also never give up, and that's what it means to pour out your heart like water